go ahead and click on product, and there's our license. So we're going to go ahead and take that license, copy it, you can log out of there, I'm going to paste it in here. Alright, it adds the delimiter in every time you type it. So if you grab the delimiter right from the service and you try to type over it, it will our function, you can use this function to make sure that the code is always entered, the license key is always entered with four characters in the space, so that helps. The next thing we're going to do is actually validate. So we're going to try with the first with this one, would validate all products. So this function won't call the validation system with a GUID. It will leave the GUID out, so we'll go ahead and try that. I've clicked it. Alright, and it returned immediately, and as we can see, now we have a license in there. So the next one we're going to look at is the copyright product info option. So let's take a look at at that. We haven't entered anything in License Vault, so let's switch to License Vault. I'm going to go into the product info. Let's type something in here like a product for testing license vault, a product, and then product license we'd probably put in this is a copyrighted software you can use but not share. And then a copyright, which more than likely follows some sort of copyright notation. We're going to go ahead and hit OK. Alright, and exit. And now if we want to see the copyright info, we hit View Copyright, and as you can see, what we entered in License Vault comes up. Want to see the product info, we get it through that. And so this is a good example of how you might use and then the license, how you might use those three values in your program, so that you don't have to have everything hard-coded into your program. You can have these things outside of the program and store them in License Vault, and then dynamically change your program. So that is an idea. You could do it. You can make it pull from those three values every time that your application starts, or you could do it at the time that the license is installed and store it locally, so that the customer can see it. So this just gives you an extra option, so you don't have to have everything set up from the get-go, and you can change things later on. Alright, now we're going to switch over to the integration client. So I'm going to close out of these, switch back to Visual Studio, and set the integration client as the startup. The integration client test has this form, which is going to simply show all the products, and it's going to show all the keys that are currently in our system. We have one key and one product in our system, so the list will be short, but the code behind will show that you can actually grab all of the keys and all the products. So it could come in handy if you need to do some additional work and you're trying to create perhaps some sort of emailing system, or some way to grab more information or more value from License Vault. Alright, we're setting up the fields here, and then in this next function we are preparing to change the licensing in such a way that we can parse. We're passing in these values and we're parsing parsing these things. Okay, in this function called toolstrip textbox1 text changed, we're setting the pagination system so that we can get back a number of products for a certain page, or a number of products. Is the same function that we use here, we use in pagination for the keys as well. So since we have two tabs, and each one of those tabs is going to pull data from License Vault, we're using pagination for both of them. So as you can see, this is a good way for you to implement pagination if you're going to display, or need to pull products and keys from the database. The majority, the reason why we use pagination in License Vault is because encryption has a limit on how much data you can return, and so to speed up, and it also speeds up performance as well, but if you attempt to grab too much from a system using encryption, it becomes extraordinarily slow. So we use pagination, which speeds up the process, and you can pull each page out as you need it. So it takes the entire License Vault database and spreads it out into pages where you can pull a group, up to 200. It uses 200 rows of products and keys per page. Alright, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the next function. The next one pulls the keys. So if we scroll down here to the next pagination function, this one says get keys by page. So the same principle of pagination is used, and the two methods that you'll primarily be using will be the get keys by page, and the other one will get products by page. Now let's go ahead and run it and see what we get. Alright, we're running our test client, and as you can see, we're pulling out the one product, and the info of the GUID and a copyright and stuff that was stored in the product. So you can use the integration client to grab your products. The second tab shows the key, the one key that exists in the system. So you can use the integration client as well to grab the keys and information that's been set for that key, so that you can use it in any external program you need to create to do some sort of internal process, whether it be an email you want to send to the customer with their license key, or you want to see how many products for a particular client you've got for the key, and so you can do a lot of interesting things by being able to pull that information from License Vault. Our idea behind that is that we don't know exactly what you might want to get out of License Vault, so we'll give you everything. That way you can just you can create whatever it is you need to be able to pull information from License Vault. Well, that concludes this video, and we covered both the License Vault client DLL and the License Vault integration client DLL. You'll want to take a look at these two examples and modify them and play with them a little bit to get an idea of what kinds of things you can do with the License Vault client DLLs in your application. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send them to sales@spearmantech.com or one of our sales partners, and we'll be happy to help you. Thanks a lot. Till next time.